Okay, man, the Nuggets go up 2-1 on OKC as the Thunder's offense looked really, really bad in the last stretch of the fourth quarter and especially the overtime. And on the other end, the Nuggets, they do what they do. They execute, even on a tough shooting night for Jokic. We also had the Cavs make it a 2-1 series. And also, real quick, I didn't do a video for Warriors-Wolves because I didn't think there was a whole lot to say. The Wolves had to win. They were at home. Warriors didn't have Steph. Hopefully we see Steph. I have also come back down to earth after the Celtics loss. Game 3 in the Garden is going to be insane. But yeah, we got to go right to this. And yeah, man, the Nuggets can win the series. And you saw the blueprint for it here, which is it doesn't matter how many games you won in the regular season. It doesn't matter how weird the Nuggets looked at certain times this season. When you get them in a close game late, they got Jokic and Murray, and they get good shots off of that, including Gordon getting like a mid-range over Chet, where Jokic actually ran an inverted screen with Christian Brown in order to kind of seal the deal. But we got to go to OKC's offense, man. So first off, J-Dub was fantastic tonight, okay? But in the fourth quarter, it was a lot of SGA. It was a lot of attacking Murray on a switch. It was a lot of driving at Christian Brown. And it felt like there were a lot of possessions where there was just no passes or just one pass. And then it's like a missed fadeaway or whatever. And there were a couple of little plays sprinkled in here and there where there's other stuff. And then, even then, I thought the Nuggets guarded it well, where like they were throwing these quick doubles at SGA, and he did look pretty rushed, where he's like making this really quick pass to Ihart, and Ihart's missing a couple of floaters, but you can tell SGA is not comfortable, right? Or among the great game that J-Dub had, if that was proper English, you still had a play where like they throw multiple bodies at SGA off of a missed shot, and I think there's like 3 guys coming at him, forces him to pass out, and then Murray gets the strip on J-Dub, and even then the paint was like pretty packed. So it would have been a tough one. And then you just had good moments where I think it might have been Aaron Gordon who ended up on J-Dub for a play, not J-Dub, Dort as a help defender for a play, and like he's helping off of him, but then he gets back to him anyway, so then Dort's got to pass it out as opposed to get an open shot. Although even when he did get an open shot in that fourth quarter, oh my God, the guy like his shot was so bad that it was like an easy offensive rebound for OKC. And this was actually one of biggest shots of the night where he made a 3 off of a possession that was otherwise going nowhere for the Thunder. And that one time he beat Gordon on like a spin move ISO where he hesitated him to freeze for a second. Like that was a great play by J-Dub. Again, J-Dub was really good in this game. But even so, man, that OKC offense down the stretch there, it just felt like they didn't have a plan. Now, I do think the Nuggets having these select moments of bringing extra bodies definitely freaked him out. And, you know, if Dort makes that 1-3 where they were just saying, go ahead, man, then okay. Like missed shots are always going to play a part in this. And OKC did not shoot well from 3 in this game. But even so, I just can't shake the feeling of this is not the normal SGA. I'm going to get whatever matchup I want. I'm going to cook for as long as I want to. I'm going to get the step back or the pull up or the whatever I want to. That was not happening in this. And, well, that better not happen again. And then on the other side, even with the very, very rough shooting night that Jokic had, I mean, whichever team lost this game, the MVP candidate was then immediately going to get the roast session. But with that said, just a few more plays of execution, man. Jokic-Murray 2-man game. Murray draws a foul on Chet at the rim. He makes a step back 2 over Ihart. Jokic hits Gordon cutting because he knows that Chet is going to be helping when he's backing down Ihart. Gordon knows it. Everybody knows it. And they've got the timing perfect on this stuff. And also, speaking of Gordon, I mean, he did it again, man. He didn't do it exactly again, but that corner 3 where Chet was closing out on him, oh my God. If you care about what happened on that one, basically Chet had to pick up Murray in transition or else Murray would have got a layup. And so then Chet also, after they switched that, he then had to be the guy to cross the entire court to get to Gordon for a corner 3. Also, MPJ just basically could not miss in this game, whether it was like Gordon setting him an off-ball screen or him getting a DHO from Jokic. He was just going to make everything in this one. And so I think really the thing for OKC now is you take a look at that very bad offensive stretch and you find other screen actions, other matchups you could potentially go at. Like there was one random play where Chet was able to attack off the dribble and he got something. And of course, you know the doubles are coming. You know they're going to dare Lou Dort from outside. And it's not as if these are completely foreign concepts. So we'll see what they do. But that offense has got to look better than it looked down the stretch there. Whether that's just hammering home, like, you know, put Jokic in the screen action no matter who's guarding him. Like when Caruso was out there, it did feel like they kind of leaned on Caruso screening on the ball because Jokic was on Caruso and he got some pick and pops. They're still going to dare Caruso to make shots, but like, I don't know, like sometimes they're thinking about that. And if I go down the whole fourth and overtime, I'm sure I will see plays where they do that. And yes, obviously the Nuggets did begin this game with a zone where, for what it's worth, I did think early in the game, before their offensive struggles began, I did think OKC found some interesting things where, like, Chet is in the dunker spot, or Chet is at the three-point line, like top of the key where he brings the ball up, and you can't just ignore him from up there. And they had some nice, like, Lou Dort backdoor cuts, or like J-Dub runs a screen action with iHeart, and he's hitting him with a nice pocket pass. Whatever, this doesn't matter. They lost the game. Their offense imploded down the stretch. Okay, now let's go on to Cavs-Pacers, where, again, the Cavs now down 2-1 in their series. Game 4 becomes massive. Saw everybody back. Love that. The Pacers have a zone defense of themselves to deal with. It feels like it's more of a 3-2 type of zone, where when Mobley and Allen are out there together, it's Mobley sort of more so around like the three-point line or the free throw line, and then Jared Allen's free throw line to the rim. And sure, the Cavs did not use this for the whole game, of course, but when it was being used, it felt pretty effective. Maybe somebody's going to show a number that says, no, they were actually really good against it, but it feels like it was working. And it feels like there are a few possibilities for the Pacers. Because first off, it did feel like they were very hesitant, where you've got plays where, let's say, Obi's taking a three, but it's like a really rushed three in the corner, or Nesmith is just trying to barrel his way into just a bunch of bodies for a miss, or you have Mathurin driving into multiple guys for a miss, or just a lot of plays of just a lot of passing around the three-point line, but not really finding the advantage, right? It should also be said, Halliburton was bad in this game. I don't think this is the biggest reason why, but it does feel like there's a real effort on Cleveland's part, and you can see this early on with Max Strus. He's trying to deny Halliburton the ball, even on inbounds, when he can. Again, not the only reason he was bad, but I mean, he was 2 for 8 from the game, 5 assists, so that kind of reflects how I felt watching it, where I just sort of forgot he was out there, to be honest. Anyway, what's the answer for this Cavs zone? So, of course, there's going to be much smarter people than me who have the actual answer, but I will theorize that, of course, you can imagine trying to get Siakam into certain spots on the floor where you feel like the zone could be opened up. The other idea is more so using screen actions on or off the ball. You can still screen on the ball even if you're dealing with a zone. I know sometimes it looks like teams just pass the ball around the perimeter all day. You can screen for the guy who's closest to the guy up with the ball in his hands. But also, I have to shout out the genius known as Caitlin Cooper, who covers everything Pacers, because she has already talked about already putting Jared Allen in off-ball screens and forcing him to guard like actions that are otherwise going to be threes in the corner, and also screening Mobley at the top of the key to just force him to fight around screens, Besides that, while I know Garland did not shoot well for the game, you did see his impact immediately. The second they won the tip, it was immediately a pick and roll where he got downhill and something good happened. And I've taken too long to mention Donovan Mitchell, who once again has just been fantastic. And my favorite stretch of his was when the Pacers were getting a little bit of momentum in the fourth. It was like a 12-point game. They got it down from 20 or whatever. And he makes like a mid-range turnaround, just taking on the whole defense, makes a step-back three on one end, and then creates a three for Max Strus where there really wasn't much of a play call. It was just, give me the ball and I'm going to make something happen. It's good stuff. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, his playoff numbers are just insane, man. Besides that, it did feel like in the moments where it wasn't the Cavs zone, what Halliburton was really cooking on earlier in the series, which was get Jared Allen in the switch and then I do whatever I want, that did not happen much in this game. But what I do remember seeing was one play where they did try to put Allen in the screen action, and then he was like up on Halliburton for a split second, and then he turned it into just like a typical drop. And then, of course, Mobley's awesome on defense because he's always awesome on defense. He's got plays where he's just covering crazy amounts of ground to do something at the perimeter, but then he's still at the rim like 4 seconds later. He's Defensive Player of the Year for a reason. So anyway, look, Cavs had to win. They won. Cool.